Another chapter in the Big Homie Talk
What it is.
playbook. We're going to do a few reactions. We just going to slide through a few videos and give our commentary on it, from
The
a big
big
homie
homie way.
perspective. That's right. Well, let's go. We're going, the best place to mine good topics, in my opinion, is TikTok. So, start here.
How the teacher talking to these kids.
I'm gonna work the shit out of y'all because I've already told you what you should be doing, and then nobody's doing it. Nobody's on Imagine Math passing lesson. There's fucking work to be done. I don't get it. I do not get it.
I just want to say this real quick. It sounds like the teacher having a meltdown.
Yeah, basically, like he basically giving the same energy back
Yeah.
almost. What he been getting.
It's funny. Like, it's one of those videos, like, it's because the video starts with him having a meltdown. What led to the meltdown? And let me guess, this is a Baltimore City school. And I'm pretty sure the school reflects the neighborhood, right?
Is that
And we know what goes on in the neighborhood. And like you said, I gave him work to do. Nobody does the work. She even playing with her phone.
is
People walking around the classroom look
that
empty. So where's everybody at? And that's what I mean when it comes to learning, Doug. It is very crucial that we pay attention in school, because what happens is we become illiterate adults that can't fill out job applications. And then when we get jobs, we can't really move up the ladder because we can't compete.
exactly. Then she talking about she talking about why is he talking to these people, kids or these children? You just as much as the children as they are. So
Yeah.
it's like that's where like it's like this generation like they trying to be too advanced and they don't know shit.
At all.
You
At
feel me?
all.
Like they trying to be, and then it's like for the us being the older generation that they looking up to, we ain't making it no better because we doing the same shit that we telling them not to do, but we doing the same shit. So it's like the generation just messed up, man,
Yeah.
because it's like these kids is no respect. They don't they don't know shit about principle or you feel me, this directions period. Like they don't
Hmm.
even understand the word of direction of like you come in the classroom and whatever direction your teacher give you, you supposed to follow. Like I
Hmm.
don't care how you attitude feel or what. Like you here to learn and to be better in life. So it's like
Exactly.
kids don't even know nothing about direction already.
It's like showing up for work. It's like being a tradesman and showing up for work without tools. These kids are going to show up for life without the basics.
Yep.
And that's just a basic education. You can't further yet. It's like math. You got to learn add and subtract and division, multiplication, square roots, and all these things to be able to do algebra. They are the tools to be able to do advanced math. So if you don't get the tools, that's the language, the reading, the writing, the math, and all these things, you can't go out here in life and do a basic job. You can't.
Because the internet got them thinking it's just an image of oh put these clothes and put these shoes on
Hmm.
and hang around a certain crew and you got it all together.
It's like the girls just want to be cute and the dudes want to be tough. A bunch
Yeah.
of cute, tough dummies.
Basically, yeah, that's what's going on. So it's like if I don't know, like this generation is just all over the place and it ain't gonna happen overnight with getting them under control because they too far gone and they got it all figured out.
I seen this one video, right? And I'm gonna play it, and I want you to tell me what you think about it. Hold on, if I can find it. Where is it? All right, hold on, not that one. Hold on, we getting there. This one.
Under the plan I'm announcing today, we will take the billions and billions of dollars that we will collect by taxing, fining, and suing excessively large private university endowments. And we will then use that money to endow a new institution called the American Academy. Its mission will be to make a truly world-class education available to every American, free of charge, and do it without adding a single dime to the federal debt. This institution will gather an entire universe of the highest quality educational content covering the full spectrum of human knowledge and skills, and make that material available to every American citizen online for free. Whether you want lectures or ancient histories or an introduction to financial accounting or training in a skilled trade, the goal will be to deliver it and get it done properly. Using study groups, mentors, industry partnerships, and the latest breakthrough in computing, this will be a truly top-tier education option for the people. It will be strictly non-political, and there will be no wokeness or jihadism allowed. None of that's going to be allowed. Most importantly, the American Academy will compete directly with the existing and very costly four-year university system by granting students degree credentials that the U.S. government and all federal contractors will henceforth recognize. The Academy will award the full and complete equivalent of a bachelor's degree. In addition, to help the 40 million Americans who have some college education but no degree, the American Academy will grant credit for past coursework at legacy institutions and give you the chance to complete your education at the American Academy for free and much more quickly than is now possible or available. This will be a revolution in higher education and will provide life-changing opportunities for tens of millions of our citizens. Enjoy it, learn from it, and thank you.
Wow.
I ain't gonna lie, that's one of the first time I heard him really say some intelligent shit.
Yo, you ain't got sometimes medicine don't always taste good. Like you ain't
Yeah,
gotta necessarily like the person if it's some good shit. Like, so
yeah,
for instance, right? The reason why I played that, right? Because we just watched the kids in school or whatever, right? I think the minimum requirement is to be an American citizen and graduate high school
right,
to have access to college. And you heard what he said. Everything, whether it's computing, accounting, trades.
right.
You see what I'm saying? I mean, everything will be at your fingertips, and now you could go out here. Now the slate is clean. You get the so you get to get all this education without the debt.
Yeah,
You get to
that's
get the education without a job being biased, holding you back. So you got a lot of for instance, I am an instructor at an apprenticeship school, which is a great opportunity. It helped me. I came up through the apprenticeship, and now I teach in the apprenticeship for the last 9 years. And if you're not sponsored by a company, just walking in the door off the street, you can't get in the apprenticeship because somebody has to pay for it. A lot of companies pay the money up front, then take it out your check weekly. They pay it back, and if you stay with the company, a lot of them, like when you graduate, they'll give you the money back. Then if you stay a year, they give you the other half of it back or something like that, right?
right,
But it's a lot of times people want to get into trades, they don't have that sponsorship. They can't get into trade school, especially if they don't have the money
right,
or some program with stuff like this. You coming into trades after 4 year apprenticeship, dude, that's guarantee you a foot in the middle class,
right,
a foot in starting a small business. Like you get your get your electrical journeymans, then you get your masters. With your masters, you could start a business because you could pull permits and stuff like that. Your plumbing's masters, you could pull permits. Your HVAC masters, you could pull permits. So now with that, you can actually start a business.
right.
You ever see a license number on the side of the truck? That's what comes when you get your master's license. You see what I'm saying? So like it's so many opportunities here. He mentioned computing, right? So a lot of people go to college and get useless degrees where there's no jobs for the degrees, but they got degrees. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? Or they either drop out or whatever because, or it might be a money thing where they may have changed their mind about what they want to take up, so now they really can't afford to do something different, or whatever the case, different circumstances for different people, right? But with this, it seemed like if you change your mind about something, you can jump over and say, hey, I want to be a doctor. I want to take up medicine. He said across all spectrums.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So I don't know if that's medical school. Maybe that's something different. But everything, the college courses will be the equivalent of a bachelor's degree. And everybody has to recognize it. Like they recognize any other degree or license you get. I think that right there closed the gap.
Yeah.
But the problem, see, it becomes a far fetched thing when we don't personally take advantage of the basic necessities, those tools. We just watch the kids wouldn't pay attention in class. This would be a hard thing for a lot of them to achieve if they can't do the basics.
Oh,
So
for
I think
real.
that's dope, yo. I mean, like I haven't heard Kamala say anything along these lines. Maybe she has something similar. You know what I mean? But this right here, I could vote for that. I don't give a fuck about none of the other shit because this is a realistic thing that your son I have access to, and my daughter, my grandkids I have access to. It's
Yeah.
a real thing to give them a chance.
No, for real, I could dig it. Like, I don't really know too much about the politics, but
Right.
it's like when I hear her talk, uh, it's like, but when Trump talk, it's like, all right, what he finna say? Cause I know he gonna talk some shit, but he definitely gonna make some sense on something
Right.
that
Mm-hmm.
I agree with. With Kamala, I just feel like it's just a puppet.
Yeah, she don't have no thoughts of her own.
Yeah, like, and then like I feel like, and not to be biased, like far as with the war and shit going on, like I don't feel like we gonna get the respect for shit. Far as like, and not to say women can't be in control, but like
Right.
this a this world is a
You
dog
think you
eat
think
world.
you think Russia, China, North
I
Korea,
I remember when I
Iran,
was watching the debate or some shit. I don't know what it was, if it was a debate or not, and Trump was basically saying like Putin just hoping she get in office
yeah, so he can do what he want to
so
do.
he can do whatever he want to do, and I strongly believe that like if she get in office, man, like y'all think y'all saying motherfucking bombs and shit going off now, motherfucking North Korea that's who hate us.
North Korea,
They might send that motherfucking missile.
they might try, but see, it's like it's a balance of power, right? You know what I mean? And um, I think on to that note, right, the situation with Kamala when it comes to like international politics, like you said, she's a puppet. And to a certain degree, they all are puppets to the donors, right?
Right.
So like what they try to do, and if you watch the Republican pundits, they'll mention the situation in Ukraine, but they won't mention the situation in Israel. The Democrats is vice versa. They won't talk bad about the situation in Ukraine, but some will talk about the situation in Israel. But the Democrats are the ones who's funding the situation in Israel because that's who's in power now. It's kind of funny because ultimately the same people in the background controls both parties and both sides when it comes to like just the war machine in itself is a whole lot of money to be made every time a bomb gets dropped out of that stockpile. It has to be replenished.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So like
You
we
know how
have
much they cost for
that's
them to
what I'm
drop
saying.
that bomb?
That's what I'm saying. So you gotta think also like, yo, we gotta America has a thing to it. They gotta be able to fight like at least 2 or 3 wars at one time and be able to keep that line of logistics to the front line, meaning food, weapons, ammunition, fuel, you know what I'm saying? All the things they need to fight 2 or 3 major wars. So even if we send stuff out of our stockpiles to Ukraine or Israel, it's getting replenished. So even the money that we give them, let's say like I think they gave over, I think they gave like over 500 billion
Dang.
to Ukraine. Yes, 500 billion. And I think one of the stipulations to that is that the majority of that money gets spent in American companies like Boeing, Lockheed Martin, stuff like that, and buying them weapons. So some of the money is coming back. But that's what they mean by the military industrial complex. They love forever war because they make money off it.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But then there's other agendas. You know, I don't really want get too much into because I don't want to get out. Channel took it down, but like it's a lot of stuff going on and it's real fishy when it comes to these politics because like even to a certain degree, I think Donald Trump he can be controlled as well, or if he's not already being controlled by some of the stuff he said, and it's like all I'm gonna say the same thing and pledge allegiance to another country other than our own. And to be honest with you, as a black person in America, we've been here over 400 plus years. Like this, our only home. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And this thing gotta work for us. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of whatever the bad blood is and the history of this country, and we not going to like everybody because of the history of the country, but at the same time we got to look at what's going to work for us. And if we don't start doing that, we're going to keep having situations where we watching videos of the schools where um the kids are not learning, they acting up going crazy, then all the stuff surrounding the schools and then the stuff surrounding the neighborhoods and then these the people that's having children next. So we're doomed if we don't change that. You know, the influx. I don't have anything. I have nothing against the way people, choose to sleep around or whatever. That's not my business. But if we don't have, if it's if you're not allowed to teach God, Allah, Buddha in school, you shouldn't be allowed to teach gender and all that goofy stuff because I think some stuff should still belong between you and your kid. You see what I'm
Exactly.
saying? So like the majority of the time, your kid is at school. You see
Right.
what I'm saying? And they's getting indoctrinated. Like even when it comes to politics, they'll have an opinion based on the school. One thing he said when he was talking about that school thing, right? He was like, no wokeism, jihadism, no political stuff. It's just one plus one equals two, AEIOU, and sometimes Y. That's all.
Right.
I'm cool with that. I could teach my own kid about history. I could teach my own kid about the other stuff, my religion or their religion, whatever. But just give my kid the tools minus the other stuff.
Right.
And one of the things they
That's all
do,
that matter.
yeah, yeah, like let me deal with the social stuff. And what happens in the cities when it's ran by Democrats, respectfully, it's a lot of social stuff, and it's basically like they created the problem that we have, and then they come with the fake remedy to socialize our kids into these goofy little identities and confusions. And meanwhile, other communities they're teaching their kids, and they sitting there having stuff about talking about stuff that's not arithmetic, right? And our kids is finishing the same time their kids finishing, but they're here in knowledge, and our kids are here because they just there's a bunch of social shit going on minus them learning.
Right.
And then the influx of now you have classrooms like that. If you add that to it with the acting out, yo, these kids are doomed. And even a
Yeah.
program like that where it's free, where everybody can take advantage of it, because it's no reason why everybody shouldn't graduate high school. Everybody should graduate high school. That means everybody should be learning something. And everybody should be able to take advantage of that. But we're not. If we're gonna have classrooms like that. And
And it's mainly our why
yes,
you don't yeah, it's
tell the truth.
mainly our culture for real. Like when it comes to school, like I don't know, you wouldn't go to a all white school and hear teachers had to talk to the kids like that. I'm not
Yeah.
saying I don't
It
know.
happens,
It
but
happens, but it's not to a tone that the the teacher damn near gotta be
yeah, he
disrespectful
cussing.
to get his point across. Like you don't hear that, but you go into our schools and it's that problem. So it's like
And
what
there's enough videos to say like that's a thing.
yeah, you got this shit worse than that. So it's like
Yeah.
this shit worse than that. So it's like sometimes but we our own problem. Like
Mm-hmm.
and we don't and if and it's crazy to say that we really don't know how to solve that shit.
I
Really
agree.
don't.
Because we can't raise our kids. We're not in charge of our kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like we are so boggled down with trying to work, survive, keep our head above water. Who can really raise their kids? I mean, 100%. It's not to say that people's not trying, but you put all that hard work into your kid, then they go outside, and outside got the bigger influence on them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And you and this and once outside get the influence over you, then your kid is like it's like everything that your kid do out there gonna reflect on you because it's like
Mm-hmm.
your
Mm-hmm.
kid out here you done told your kid right from wrong 100 times, but you go out here and choose to do all wrong shit. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like you'll tell them like, man, I told you. But on the other hand, motherfuckers are like, man, what's up with your kid, man? Yo, like, fuck, you ain't telling the boy the right thing. But the motherfucker don't see on the back end that you done try. It's just that
Mm-hmm.
outside and got the best. And it's like a tug of war thing. And now these days, like the outside winning because
Yes, it is.
I
The
see a
outside
lot
is
of
winning.
little kids young, like they young, like this falling to destruction.
It's so true, yo. I seen it. Trying to see if I got another video in here. Something. I wasn't really trying to drag us down the political aisle because people get so emotional about it, right? And everything we get so emotional about is either some shit that's really not important, like that the internet told us to be mad about.
Right.
Um, and with respect to the people that get emotional, because I don't mean no disrespect, because people feel the way they feel. You know what I mean? But like, yo, sometimes you gotta take those feelings, ugh, set them to the side. Like, I don't know, man. I'm not gonna tell nobody how to vote or try to influence nobody or ridicule anybody um for how they vote because our ancestors died for that right to choose. And it's like now you see when you go on the internet,
So
they ridicule
let me
people.
let me let me let me go back on that because everybody always say our ancestors died for us to vote, but why it don't seem like we get affected by it when we do vote
That's a
these
good thing
days? Like
because we
you
don't
feel
ask
me?
for nothing.
You feel me? We just ask for the right to do something, but don't the shit don't play in
Benefit us.
favor for us.
That's a real good question. I like that question.
You feel me? Like, all right, we as our ancestors died and this and this and that and this and that, but to this day we still getting untreated fair and justice system that they did so we can get a fair justice system. I ain't seen one yet for us black motherfuckers.
Yo, but look who we keep voting for. So I had this conversation in the last podcast, and people think, oh, he like a Republican or something. No, I can't get mad at somebody else who didn't promise me anything. So if a certain party promised us something, different things, rights, uh, just different stuff, right? Without getting into the nuts and bolts, and they never delivered on it, I'm gonna be mad at that party. Or they only come around when they need us. I'm gonna be mad at those people. But the majority of the time, like you said, things are the same. Things never change for us. And then the other party, they write us off because we don't vote for them anyway. So you can't even get mad at them because they're not going to do nothing for us because we're not their base. So I think the people that we vote for, we need to start holding accountable. They play the gender game, they play the race game to get us in there. But then all the gender stuff, women still get treated a certain type of way. People still have different equality situations when it comes to race or age or whatever. It happens. Why these same people in power? You know what I'm saying? And then the internet tell us, oh, we gotta do this, we gotta do this to get the same nothing over and over again. I really feel like, to be honest with you, we can't put our hope in none of them. You see what I'm saying? What
Nah,
we
for
need to
real.
do is educate ourselves. That's why school is important because when these kids come up, one day, 20 years from now, I'm gonna be in my 60s. You gonna be in your 50s, right? And then one of those kids that's 18, 17, they'll be 20 years old, old enough to run for office, old enough to represent us, old enough to understand the struggles of the community and the needs of the community, the needs of the school because they came up through the educational system. These will be the people that we could that go and represent us and implement things that will be beneficial for the next kids coming up because they've been there and they know the problems. But the problem is we not even making it past that.
Yeah, we ain't even putting ourselves in
That's what I'm
positions
saying.
to be in
And
it.
I think that's the only way to change. If we have people that represent us, you can't get mad at other groups because they got people that represent them and they
Right.
stick to it and they make it work for
But
them.
then they put themselves in a position though to be in them powers and shit. Like man, we I don't like not saying we ain't got no good people out there that's doing the right thing, but
Right.
we don't really support them enough. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's like we support the we support the loud motherfucker that's talking the most. Like,
It's like we'll either go. It's like they got to be a hardcore Democrat or a hardcore Republican, right? And then along those lines, we'll be divided. You see what I'm saying?
yeah,
Versus like, yo, you can be conservative about getting up and going to work every day and being responsible. There's a lot of things that's conservative by definition that everybody do across the lines. There's a lot of stuff about being liberal, like caring and looking out for older people and making sure children are all right, and making things easier for parents, and you know what I mean? It's
yeah.
like stuff that would fall under that category that everybody agrees with. Why we can't meet in the middle? Why we can't take a little from this because this worked, a little bit from over here because that worked, and a little bit from the middle because that worked, and boom. And then and have that. Why do we got to be either this or that? And it got to be hard line. Because then they start talking about the racism. It's like, dude, that's on either side. Because you got one side, you got some sides that you're not working hard enough when they had a head start. Then you got other side that think you dumb and you're a kid because you black and you ain't smart enough. Without, you know what I'm
So
saying?
it's basically the same shit.
Exactly. And that's the thing that people need to realize and recognize. And they won't. But I think the solution is, 'cause I know I always talk about the problem. I think the solution is education. And it starts, and then that'll start with us. We need to start holding these politicians accountable and come together and get them out of there. Put the gender stuff aside, right? The all the other stuff aside. The main thing should be for this, like, the taxation without representation on the local level and on the federal level. You know what I'm saying? Like the school system, paying the teachers more. I'm not opposed to putting a metal detector at every school because the climate we in now, we need them. You see what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
you
And then
need a
what?
metal detector and a
That's what.
goddamn police
Yeah,
in
it
every
is what it
damn
until
school.
we get everything under control.
It
Yeah,
ain't no way that it shouldn't be these days. Shouldn't be a police on duty at every school in a fucking America. I don't give a fuck how come the school is or how good of a school is. Man, there should be a police at
protecting the children, right?
protecting them at all
I
times.
agree.
But like you said, they have pushed for a way different agenda to be passed, and when
We
um
protecting other countries and not protecting our own kids. We
yeah,
protecting grown ups and senators and congressmen, but we won't protect our children. We
yeah,
got money
that's
for
crazy.
everything but our people. It got to be an act of Congress to do something for us, but we just send money to other countries.
Yeah, like the people with the hurricane, what the fuck they gonna do with $750?
And that's the max, meaning that's the most you can get. That means some people could get 500, some people get 200, whatever. But they saying that's the max 750 a household, not per person.
So you done lost everything.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about everything, and they only got $250 for you.
Well, I don't know if somebody
I'm just
got money,
saying,
but
if
yeah,
if you
yeah,
just
they
fit that
saying that's the
requirement,
max. Yes.
if you don't fit the requirement to get 300, but you required to get 250, that's all
Mm-hmm.
you get.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And then let you be an illegal immigrant, and you gonna get taken care of. Like it's
Yeah,
so many different things, and I ain't got nothing against nobody or where they from or nothing like that. But like, yo, we gotta get this together. See the difference between a lot of other people and us. This is our home. Yeah, our ancestry is where it is, but this is where we live, and we've been here for hundreds of years. Like,
yeah,
it's no allegiance to nowhere else. This is it. We can have, and we so unique as a people. We got like we have the street culture. We got so many different. We're just not one dimensional. It's so many different. We got blues, jazz, hip hop, rap, country, rock. Like our culture is so diverse here as Black people, right? We got sexy reds, we got the God bodies, we got the Hebrews, we got the Christians, we got the Muslims. We got so many different elements of our culture. Like it's no group of people that's more diverse in culture than us.
oh,
You
for
know
real.
that? Like
Nah,
even the way we
nah.
dress, even like we are, and this is not and we are
We
American
we the
culture.
we the pepper to the food.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes, and we need this to work. We don't
yeah,
need it to go downhill, and we need to do. We got to do. to make sure we at the him.
You know what?
You know what I'm
You
saying?
know what? Another thing, black people, we need to do for each other. As much as you love a motherfucker, you got to tell them when they wrong.
Yes, yes,
Feel me?
and that's
That's
grown
real
up shit.
love.
That's grown up shit.
You feel me? When you and if the person love you back, they gonna accept that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you
It's,
love
it's the
somebody,
it's the grown up version of spare the rod, spare the child type shit.
yeah, basically.
Trying to find something else for us to talk about along the same lines. This other stuff, but I love the way this conversation went.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Because it's like, we need to be talking about, solutions, the problems and solutions. Because if we don't talk about the problem, if we act like a problem, we going is what's the need of a solution? We got kids growing up here, and we need them to make it. We need them to thrive. We need a place for them to go. You know?
no, for real. And growing up here, it's like you born with crumbs
Mhm.
already. I don't care how much money your people's got, you still at the bottom of the barrel here. So
Yep.
it's
And we make it popular to be here
like, yeah,
versus us trying to say, you know what? Nah, we not doing that.
right.
We good on that. Well, that wraps up. What episode is this? A Big Homie Talk.
What episode 4?
Episode 4.